As you might have already noticed, this won't be the typical video, as here we will be talking about Mexican legends. We also won't be talking about the really well-known ones like La Llorona or El Chupacabras. We'll be going to ones mainly known by Native Mexicans. Of course, since I can't animate things that are over 5 to 10 minutes, I'll present 3 of the most interesting and possibly frightening Mexican legends. Our first legend is called El Misterio de la Calle de Olmedo, or as known in English as the Mystery of Olmedo Street. Our story begins with a priest in the Cathedral of Mexico City, in which the priest is ready to go to his house near the monastery to sleep, since it was becoming night. As he does this, he is praying with his rosary, and as he turns around the corner, a man hastily approaches him and tells him that his sister is sick and soon to die. He kindly asks the priest to come to confess her sins to him before she passes, as that is what she told him. After a bit of hesitation, the priest agrees and follows the man to his house. He then follows the man into the room where the said woman was lying. The woman tells him her sins and she lies in her bed, and the man seems a bit impatient and nervous as she does so. After she is done, the man quickly ushers the priest out of the front door. Although the priest thought this was strange, he decided to just let it slide, you know what I mean? Anyways, after he started leaving, he starts searching for his rosary and remembers that he left it laying on the bed of the woman. As he approaches the house once again, he hears a womanly scream coming from the inside of the house. Reasonably terrified, he quickly goes to inform an officer nearby about it. The kind officer agreed to help and attempted multiple times to get the man and woman to open the door. Hearing the officer, the neighbors nearby got out of their houses to see what had happened. After a few more attempts, one of the neighbors informs the officer about something chilling. No one had lived in that house for decades. Regardless to this news, the officer managed to go into the house with the priest. As the priest went into the room where he had left him, there laid a skeleton, holding its own hands, with the priest's rosary on its lap. And that's how it ends, and it is a very well-known story to those who live in Mexico City. Quite the chilling of the bunch, maybe as much as the others. The second legend on our list is usually unnamed, so we're going to call it The Hitchhiker. The legend goes that a man in his car was returning late at night, what is unclear is from where, when he saw a woman on the side of the road. The story varies whether the man asked her if she wanted a ride or if the woman did, but either or, she gets into the car. She appears cold, so the man lends her his jacket, and the woman thanked him and told him that she was hitchhiking near these forests and got lost and was struggling to find her way out. The man asks her where she wants to be dropped off, and the woman tells him her address. He drops her off, and the woman said she would return it if he came back tomorrow. The man agreed and drove off to his house. The next day, sure enough, he came back to the house from the night before and knocked. A slightly older woman answered, and when the man asked for the young woman, she paused and had a pale expression on her face. She then says that who he was talking about was her daughter, and she had died years ago. She says she is now buried in a cemetery nearby and tells him the young woman's name. The man apologizes and drives his car to the cemetery, where he finds the grave of the young woman, with the coat from the night before covering the gravestone. Now, this one seems to be a bit more common. I do know there are similar stories about ghost hitchhikers in the United States, but I think this one is more of an isolated instance and more unique to Mexico. Obviously, there are legends that are in foreign countries that are somewhat similar from ones in the US, so I guess this is just one of those kinds of legends. Our last legend goes by the name of La Quemada, or in English, the Burnt Woman. The legend begins with a woman named Beatriz de Espinosa in what is now Mexico City in around 1550 or 1550. She was known as a very beautiful and kind woman, willing to help others in need like the poor or the sick. Unsurprisingly, a lot of men always tried asking her out or proposing to her, but no man ever interested her. That is, until she met Martin de Suboli, an Italian aristocrat who made her fall in love with him through multiple love letters. Although they were together, men still approached her trying to conquer her. This made Martin very jealous, and he often dueled most men who tried to do so. This resulted in the deaths of many men. Eventually, Beatriz was scared of what else could happen if this went on, so she got a brazier and burned her face heavily to wipe off the beauty, which she thought was the reason for the jealousy. She covered her face in a veil, and she thought her partner wouldn't love her anymore, but at least it would stop the murders. When Martin saw Beatriz was shocked that Martin was in fact only loved her for her kindness. They then got married and lived happily ever after. Now, this one can be interpreted as a love or horror story, usually depends on who you ask, but I included it here because it's usually viewed as a horror story, so I said why not include it. So yeah, those are some of the few legends that surround Mexico to this day, actually. Let me know if you found any of these interesting, or if you would like me to talk about more legends in general. If you did like this video, it would be pretty cool of you to like and maybe consider subscribing. And as always, see ya.